7-year-old girl. Let's find her.
Day one, we stepped into a cold case. Harmony hadn't been seen in 2 years.
If you know anything, like, if you thought you saw her, tell the police.
Did you believe she was still alive?
I did.
Hey, keep your hands where I can see them.
When the affidavit was made public, I remember telling people, think carefully before you read that, because there will be things you read in there that you will wish you hadn't read.
He, folded her in half and put her in the double bag.
And wrapped in a trash bag and hidden in a ceiling vent.
I mean, she's just a little girl. Hey, keep your hands where I can see them.
When the affidavit was made public, I remember telling people, think carefully before you read that, because there will be things you read in there that you will wish you hadn't read.
He, folded her in half and put her in the double bag.
And wrapped in a trash bag and hidden in a ceiling vent.
I mean, she's just a little girl. How can anybody do that to a little girl?
This case setting off a firestorm of questions and criticism about how child protection is conducted.
Why a judge would have placed Harmony in the custody of this monster.
I love my daughter unconditionally, and I did not kill her.
I don't want people to think that it's over.
December 7th, 2019, a little boy sat down one evening and drew a picture of his sister. He handed it to his family and said, "Her name is Harmony. She has blonde hair, glasses, and blue eyes." He told his teachers about her. At a baseball game, he spotted a girl in the crowd and shouted, "There's Harmony." But Harmony wasn't there. Harmony hadn't been seen by anyone who loved her since 2019. And by the time the world finally started looking, it was already too late.
For the remains of Harmony Montgomery. Harmony's father, Adam, is in the first year of a more than 50-year prison sentence for her murder. Her mother has been posting online asking for help in the search to bring Harmony home.
This is the full story of Harmony Montgomery, a case of system failures, a violent father, and a little girl who never got the protection she deserved. Stay with me because every detail matters. Harmony Montgomery was born in 2014. She was described by everyone who knew her as sweet, kind, and funny. Her mother, Crystal Sorey, remembers her as a little girl obsessed with Minnie Mouse. Her whole room was Minnie Mouse themed, and she even had a 4-foot Minnie Mouse doll. She could talk, Crystal later said at a vigil. Oh God, that girl could talk. Harmony also had a younger half-brother named Jameson. The two children bounced through the foster care system together for a period, and by all accounts, Harmony looked out for her little brother every step of the way. Despite being just a child herself, she was his protector. That bond between Harmony and Jameson is one of the most heartbreaking threads running through this entire case. Because when the system separated them, Jameson never stopped looking for her. But we'll come back to that. First, let's talk about how Harmony ended up where she did. In 2018, Harmony's biological mother, Crystal Sorey, lost custody of her daughter. At that point, the Massachusetts Department of Children and Families became involved, and Harmony entered the state's care system. Then, in 2019, something happened that would set off a chain of catastrophic events. A juvenile court judge in Lawrence, Massachusetts, awarded custody of Harmony to her biological father, Adam Montgomery.
Is in the first year of a more than 50-year prison sentence for her murder. Her mother has been posting online asking for help in the search to bring Harmony home. WBZ's Beth Germano is live in Saugus, where volunteers are giving their Saturday to a family trying to get closure. Hey, Beth.
Well, these volunteers said they feel compelled to help to finally bring Harmony home. Investigators have been trying to pinpoint where her remains might be based on her father's movements they've been able to track. But that is many, many miles, including this reservation.
So guys, let's get in a line.
Volunteers fanning out through growth and brush. In the Rumney Marsh Reservation on the Revere-Saugus line, compelled by one mission, to find a little girl they never personally knew.
Now, let's talk about who Adam Montgomery is. Because this is where the story goes from tragic to outrageous. Adam Montgomery had a long documented criminal history. In 2008, he was convicted of threatening 2 women with a pellet gun after breaking into their apartment in Malden, Massachusetts to rob them. When police arrived, he allegedly turned the gun toward an officer before being wrestled to the ground. He later pleaded guilty to armed robbery and assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. Then, in 2014, just 5 years before he was handed custody of his daughter, Adam Montgomery pleaded guilty and served an 18-month prison sentence after he shot a man in the head during a drug deal. Read that again. Armed robbery, assault with a deadly weapon, shooting a man in the head. This is the man a Massachusetts court placed a 5-year-old girl with. Harvard Law School professor Elizabeth Bartholet, faculty director of the Child Advocacy Program, put it bluntly when speaking about the case. The court and the Child Protective Services system in both states, all they had to do was scratch the surface to find out he was an unfit father. But it gets worse. At the time the Massachusetts court made its decision, the state's Department of Children and Families had already asked New Hampshire's Child Welfare Agency, the Division for Children, Youth, and Families, to conduct a home study of Adam and his wife, Kayla Montgomery. That study hadn't been completed yet. The judge didn't wait. Custody was awarded to Adam Montgomery before anyone had properly vetted the home Harmony was being sent into. She crossed state lines from Massachusetts to New Hampshire, and the two child welfare systems failed to properly coordinate. New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu, in a scathing letter to Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court Chief Justice Kimberly S. Budd, would later write, "Why would the Massachusetts court choose to place custody of Harmony with this horrible individual? No child should ever leave Massachusetts in the custody of a dangerous criminal." While all of this was unfolding, another family was trying to keep Harmony in their lives. When Blair Miller and his husband adopted Harmony's younger half-brother Jameson in late 2019, they immediately inquired about adopting Harmony too. They wanted to keep the siblings together. They understood how much Jameson loved his sister, how much he needed her. But they were told by the Massachusetts Department of Children and Families that Harmony's biological father had been awarded custody. The door was closed. So they tried another way. They reached out to Adam Montgomery directly through social media. They introduced themselves. They explained who they were, that they had adopted Jameson, that the kids had a deep bond, that they wanted to FaceTime, visit, anything. Adam Montgomery never responded. Not once. Meanwhile, Jameson continued to talk about Harmony. He told his teachers. He pointed at strangers who reminded him of her. He drew her picture. He was proud of her, they said. He had been since the very first day he came into their family. Authorities now believe that Harmony Montgomery was murdered in December 2019. She was 5 years old. She had been in her father's custody for only a matter of months.
Adam Montgomery's wife, Kayla, became the star witness for the prosecution during his trial. She was with Adam when he murdered his daughter.
Adam was getting really angry from Harmony peeing in the car.
What happened when she had that accident?
Adam repetitively kept punching her in the head. He said he thinks that he really hurt her. He folded her in half and put her in the double bag.
I've covered a lot of murder cases throughout my career, but when we obtained information about Harmony's murder, the gruesome details surrounding her death really made your stomach turn.
How she was moved and manipulated and brought to all these different places. Adam Montgomery he's a different type of human being, and by that I don't mean in a good way.
I loved my daughter unconditionally, and I did not kill her.
How could the system break down this much?
This case setting off a firestorm of questions and criticism about how child protection is conducted here in New Hampshire and Massachusetts.
Why a judge would have placed Harmony in the custody of this monster.
New Hampshire Attorney General John Formella would later confirm this timeline, stating that investigators had concluded Harmony was killed in December of that year. Here is what we know about her final days, drawn from the testimony of Kayla Montgomery Adams' estranged wife and Harmony's stepmother during the murder trial. The family had been evicted from their home shortly before Thanksgiving in 2019. They were living out of a car. On one particular day, the family was driving from a methadone clinic to a fast food restaurant. Harmony, who was 5 years old, was having bathroom accidents in the car. This made Adam angry. According to Kayla's testimony, Adam struck Harmony with a closed fist repeatedly at multiple stoplights as they drove. After that, Kayla said she handed food to the children in the car without checking on Harmony directly. Later, she said, the couple discovered Harmony was dead after the car broke down. What follows is almost impossible to process. Adam Montgomery placed his daughter's body in a duffel bag. Over the weeks and months that followed, Harmony's body was hidden in a series of locations, according to Kayla's testimony, including the trunk of a car, a cooler, a vent in the ceiling of a homeless shelter, and the walk-in freezer at Adam's workplace. Harmony Montgomery's body has never been found. From December 2019 to November 2021, nearly 2 full years Harmony was not reported missing. No one in the system flagged her absence. No welfare checks were conducted. No school reported her missing. No one came looking. This silence is one of the most damning indictments of the child welfare and court systems involved in this case. Children placed in custody arrangements, especially those who have been through the foster care system, are supposed to have check-ins, oversight, and safety nets. Harmony had none of those things functioning properly. It was not until November 2021 that Harmony's biological mother, Crystal Sorey, the woman who had lost custody 3 years earlier, called authorities and reported that she hadn't seen or heard from her daughter. That call set everything in motion. Police began investigating, and almost immediately, it became clear that something was very, very wrong. As 2021 turned into 2022, the Harmony Montgomery case became national news. Adam Montgomery was arrested and held without bail. His estranged wife, Kayla Montgomery, was also arrested and charged in connection with Harmony's care and with fraudulently collecting financial support from the state for a child they knew was dead. Police searched Adam's Manchester, New Hampshire home, then searched it again. Authorities from multiple agencies launched a massive search effort for Harmony's remains, following leads from Kayla's testimony about the various locations where the body had been hidden. Despite extensive searches, Harmony was never found. Back in Massachusetts, officials scrambled to examine how the custody decision had been made. Governor Charlie Baker said he felt the pain in Governor Sununu's letter and pledged that the state would investigate what went wrong. An independent review commissioned in 2022 by Massachusetts Office of the Child Advocate delivered a devastating verdict. The report found that the Massachusetts child protection system had failed to prioritize Harmony's needs. It concluded that Harmony suffered from a ripple effect of, quote, miscalculations of risk and unequal weight placed on parents' rights versus a child's well-being. The report also found that during the custody proceedings, neither the judge nor the attorneys had made Harmony's medical, behavioral, educational needs, or safety the primary focus of their discussions. The requirements governing how children are placed from one state to another were not properly enforced. Professor Bartholet, who had been speaking about this case from the beginning, pointed to a deeper structural problem in how courts treat biological parental rights. There's absolutely no reason that Harmony would have been given to her biological father rather than adoption even being considered, except that biological parents' rights reign supreme. Why is the system paying attention to the biological father here and not the biological sibling connection? Well, it's because the sibling is a kid, and kids don't count. What counts are adults, and what counts are parents, not kids. Adam Montgomery went to trial for his daughter's murder. Kayla Montgomery, his estranged wife, took the stand and testified against him. She described in detail what she witnessed: the violence in the car, the discovery of Harmony's body, and the horrifying months that followed as Adam hid what he had done. In 2024, Adam Montgomery was found guilty of murder and other charges. He was sentenced to 56 years in prison. It was a conviction, it was accountability, but it was not closure, because Harmony's body has never been recovered. As of today, there is still a $150,000 reward for any information that could lead authorities to her remains. Crystal Sorey, Harmony's mother, spoke at a vigil shortly after Adam's arrest. Wearing a Minnie Mouse costume to honor her daughter, she addressed the crowd with trembling honesty. "I have my days where I still can't believe it. I didn't think this would be the outcome." She said she wants Harmony's legacy to be about change, about making sure this never happens again. "She has impacted people all over the world," Crystal said, "and our goal is to make changes in her name so this doesn't happen again, and again, and again." One of the most important ongoing battles in this case has been about transparency specifically. Whether the public has a right to hear what was said inside the closed-door custody hearing where Harmony was placed with her father. Filmmaker Bill Lichtenstein, supported by multiple media organizations including the Associated Press, sued to gain access to audio recordings of that sealed hearing. His goal, to make a documentary about secrecy in Massachusetts child protection and juvenile court systems. Family court hearings are typically sealed due to privacy concerns. But in a landmark ruling, Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court agreed that releasing the audio could help the public better understand what happened to Harmony and how to prevent similar tragedies in the future. The court ruled that the recordings could be released, with the names of Montgomery's other children redacted. Liechtenstein called the ruling a moment that brings sunlight to these vital issues. A significant impediment to protecting children in the Massachusetts foster court and juvenile court systems, he said, has been their absolute unconditional secrecy. This ruling matters beyond Harmony's case. It sets a precedent that the public has a legitimate interest in understanding how courts make decisions about the most vulnerable children in society, and that secrecy, however well-intentioned, can become a shield for failure. Let's zoom out for a moment and ask the hard question. How does something like this happen? Harmony Montgomery's case is not a story of one bad actor, although Adam Montgomery is undeniably that. It is a story of compounding failures across multiple institutions, in multiple states, over multiple years. A court awarded custody to a man with an extensive violent criminal history without waiting for a proper home study. 2 state child welfare systems failed to coordinate effectively when a child crossed state lines. No one enforced follow-up oversight on Harmony's placement. The biological sibling connection between Harmony and Jameson was given no legal weight, while the rights of a violent, criminally convicted biological father were prioritized. And for 2 years, a dead child was not even reported missing. Professor Bartholet's observation cuts to the heart of it. In family court, children are often the last consideration. Adults have rights. Parents have rights. Children have needs, and those needs are only met when the adults around them choose to meet them. When those adults are dangerous and the system fails to intervene, children pay the price. Harmony paid the price. I want to end where we began with Jameson, the little boy who grew up alongside Harmony in the foster care system, who came into his adoptive family's home and immediately started talking about his sister, who told his teachers about her, who saw her face in strangers at baseball games, who, one evening, sat down and drew her picture. His adoptive father described that moment when speaking publicly about the case. Jameson drew Harmony blonde hair, glasses, blue eyes, and handed the drawing over. Just like that, like it was the most natural thing in the world. He's very proud of Harmony, his father said. And he has been since day one of coming into our family. Harmony never knew that. She never got the FaceTime call. She never got the visit. She never got the chance to grow up alongside her little brother, who loved her so much he kept drawing her face long after the world had forgotten to look. That is the weight of this case. Not just the policy failures, not just the legal arguments, not just the criminal conviction. It's a little boy and a drawing of his sister. Harmony Montgomery was 5 years old when she was murdered. She was 7 when she was reported missing. She deserved so much more than what the adults in her life and the systems meant to protect her gave her. Her body has never been found. Her case has changed laws, opened sealed courtrooms, and sparked national conversations about how we treat the most vulnerable children in our child welfare systems. Her mother wants her legacy to be change. Her brother keeps drawing her picture. And the world is finally paying attention. Rest in peace, Harmony. You were seen. You were loved. And you will not be forgotten. If this story moved you, if you believe every child deserves to be protected, to be seen, to be more than a footnote in a system failure, then please show your support. Hit that like button right now. It takes 1 second, and it tells the algorithm that stories like Harmony's deserve to be heard by more people. The more this video gets seen, the more awareness we can raise. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. We cover real cases, real people, real consequences, with the depth and respect these stories deserve. New videos go up regularly, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. And if you know someone who should hear Harmony's story, a parent, a teacher, a social worker, a friend, share this video with them. Word of mouth is still the most powerful tool we have. There is still a $150,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of Harmony Montgomery's remains. If you have any information, please contact New Hampshire law enforcement. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring, and we'll see you in the next one.